Hi YouTubers, welcome to another episode of All Things DIY. Now today we are putting spark plugs into a Toyota Yaris, and what you're going to need for that job is your workshop manual. Now the reason you need this, if I get the page open, is because it is a job which you're supposed to do every 40,000 kilometers, renew the spark plugs, or every 2 years if you don't do the mileage. Now, when it comes to spark plugs, you have the choice of the traditional spark plug, and this one's also done about 30,000 Ks. Now what tends to happen is that the central electrode tends to burn away a bit, and that gap there, which is supposed to be 0.8 or 0.9 of a millimeter, I think, for this car, but that gap gets wider and wider, and the condition of the plug might deteriorate as the mileage increases as well. But you're going to get 40,000 Ks out of a normal plug. So this car uses NGK BKR5EIX, that's the standard plug. However, you can buy the Iridium plugs. Now the Iridium plugs are the same heat range, 5, NGK plug, but they have a different ending, the EIX, and it shows you that it has an Iridium tip. That central core is Iridium, and that thing just doesn't really wear away. The plug can last almost 100,000 kilometers, so you can certainly put it in for 40, 60, 80,000 Ks before you even take it out. So I always use copper slip on the threads of the plugs. So you see the old plug here has like a goldish, put it against white, a goldish tint on the threads. That's because it's been copper slipped. So I'll smear just a very little amount of copper slip on all the threads before I put them in. Then you also want a magnetic spark plug spanner or spark plug socket. What this does is it means that when you drop the plug in, or pull it out for that matter, it's not supposed to fall out, but this one's not so magnetic as it used to be, obviously. Something's not quite 100% for this one. But the magnetic ones, great. The magnetic ones normally hold the plug in position, and you can also pull it out without having to get long nose pliers. In any case, this one is a 16mm spanner. The magnetic qualities are a little bit touch and go, as it seems. You want an extension arm to get into the cylinder head, so you can drop her in and then screw it in. Screw it in finger tight. Make sure you're not cross-threading it. Keep it straight. Screw it in finger tight, and then you use the torque wrench, socket spanner, just to put it. You can put it in by hand. You don't even need a socket spanner except for removing it. Then you use a torque wrench set to, in this case, 18 Newton meters, and that's the correct torque, and it will click when it reaches that torque. Just out of interest, when you've got the old plugs out and you haven't got the new plugs in yet, it's always a good idea to block the hole. You don't want anything falling in there. And then when you're going to put the new plug in, then you can take out the toilet paper just to keep it nice and clean. Ideally, if you had an air line, you should blow that cavity clear before you remove the spark plugs. But as long as it's clean, then if you shove a wad of toilet paper in there, it keeps anything from falling in. The actual coil packs, you don't have to remove them. You don't have to remove the electrical lead to them. You can actually displace it and put it to one side. Just make sure you put the right plug on the right coil on the right plug. But if you lay it out nicely, like 4, 3, 2, 1, then you're not going to get into trouble. Right, so that's how you do it. Good luck with your plugs replacement. Have a good day. Bye.